I told my brother that his wife was the reason he kept losing friends. And for a minute, he just stared at me. My brother, Ethan, used to have people around him all the time. Friend from high school, college buddies, guys he'd known for over a decade. Then, over the last 3 years, they all disappeared. Not slowly, not naturally. One by one, they stopped calling, stopped inviting him out. Eventually, they just vanished from his life. At first, I thought it was just adulthood. People get busy. Friendships change. Then I started noticing something. Every time one of Ethan's friendships ended, his wife, Megan, had complained about that friend first. This guy is a bad influence. He's immature. He doesn't really care about you. She said it casually, over and over. And eventually, Ethan started repeating those same opinions like they were his own. A few weeks ago, I ran into one of his old friends, Chris. I asked why everyone had drifted away. He looked uncomfortable. Then, he said something I'll never forget. We didn't leave Ethan. We left because of her. I asked what he meant. Chris said every time they got together, Megan would interrupt Ethan, correct him, and make little jokes at his expense. If someone invited Ethan somewhere, she complained that they were taking him away from his family. Eventually, hanging out with him felt impossible. Then Chris said something that hit me hard. We kept hoping he'd notice. He never did. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I went to my brother's house the following Sunday. Megan was upstairs. Ethan and I were alone in the kitchen. I told him I needed to say something difficult. Then I told him everything. The comments, the patterns, what Chris had said, that every friendship seemed to die shortly after Megan decided she didn't like that person. At first, he laughed. He said Megan was just protective. I asked him a simple question. When was the last time you spent time with a friend without her criticizing him first? He opened his mouth, then stopped. I asked another question. When was the last time one of your friends ended things without first having problems with Megan? Again, silence. I watched his face change. Not anger, recognition. Like he'd suddenly noticed something that had been right in front of him. Just then, Megan walked into the kitchen. She looked at both of us and asked what we were talking about. My brother looked at her, then back at me. Then he said something I wasn't expecting. We're talking about why I don't have any friends anymore. The room went completely quiet. I left a few minutes later. I didn't want to make things worse. 3 days later, Ethan called me. He'd met Chris for coffee. Then another old friend. And another. He said all three of them had told him the same story. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, I thought I was growing apart from everyone. I didn't realize I was being isolated. I didn't know what to say. So I just listened. Because sometimes people don't need answers. They just need someone willing to tell them the truth they can't see themselves.